Hi there. Welcome to Soulfire Tarot. My name is Stephen Moran. I'm still figuring out the camera setup. And today we're going to do collective reading for February. So, the way I do tarot is quite intuitive. I kind of intuitively read and combine known symbological associations, while also my localized symbological associations, meaning some of my own interpretations and insights to different symbols. Everybody has that to a degree. And I'm still in the learning process, but I've had some good encouragement and regards to effective readings. I've always been a very highly intuitive person, highly imaginative person throughout my life. I like to produce music. I used to be more artistically inclined visually, like drawing pens and paper. Now, let's see here. This will be my first time doing this. I work with I call on angelic intelligence. And the way I kind of understand them, that are like angels, are basically higher dimensional thought forms that are basically kind of the emissaries or the messengers, right? So if we try to parse an analog, right, to this more metaphysical thing in the physics, I don't know what that would be particularly, but the Kabbalistic or older idea of angels as the emissaries, like if you think about it as light too, as like radiance or something that can carry information, from like a higher unified plane of existence, the source or whatnot. So we all have creative domain in how we express and call on intelligence with intention, with thought form, and in some senses, the spirit of something. Like what is the spirit of an orange, right? Like if you know an orange, you can feel it, and even remotely with things, even if you haven't known it yourself directly in person, we can still read things remotely because in somehow, some way, everything is connected. And to that, with tarot, we're going to read into the collective month and see what comes up here. February 2025. Let's see, what is the key signature? I'll pull this upright. Interesting. Ace of Chalices. Ace of Cups. We have here. So for this, we see the emergence of a lot of emotion is being channeled, and there's a lot of opportunity for connection. And it's the time of year we actually just went through. I believe it was Imbolc, which is basically the in between the winter and the summer solstice. No, that's the spring. So we're like halfway to spring, essentially. And so like that in this time, with this image, we can see how things are basically fountaining, the cup symbolizing that of our water is what we have to give, that which is nourishing, that which we can, kind of embody our passions and nourish each other and be nourished, right? And the flow of life. Coming forth from this cloud, something that's been concentrating quite a while. So interesting. These lotuses here, so perhaps something to do with enlightenment. Let's keep going. All right, so that was just kind of the key tone here. Let's see what some of the challenges are for this month. Holy guardian angels, that of the Most High, might you be present within this card reading. Yeah, so we have the Knight of Swords. You know, there's this swiftness of these new ideas. There's radical changes going on afoot on the planet right now with the United States and the new leadership, the controversy, you know, the drive to make effective changes, social changes, institutional changes, worldwide, global kind of reorganization of the world order, really. So there's this swiftness, there's a challenge of ideas, you know, things are kind of coming to, you know, the battleground. This should be auto-focusing. So the swords pertaining to air, the mind, ideas, logic, you know, and the knight championing that. So things are moving quickly, very quickly, rapid change on the horizon here. Are there any more challenges? Might you show me in the cards? Ah, interesting. Okay. Temperance. Ah, yes. So to kind of find balance between all of this, you know, like with such emotionally, you know, perturbations. There's perturbations. You see a volcano in here, seismic activity, groundswell change, you know, fire being released and ignited into the atmosphere, stirring up the mind, releasing all this energy, this pent up energy, these forces. And this angelic woman, the temperance figure, you know, is pouring this water from silver to gold. So it symbolizes something of alchemical refinement, you know, and pouring this water of life. She has the sun illuminated over her. You know, she is guided by the central intelligence of life, our higher consciousness, essentially. And she stands on the border of the beach and the ocean, you know, in between these two spaces. So I really kind of see this as a sign of integrating dualities, you know, integrating our shadow, you know, and really taking time to find that balance, taking the time to like nourish ourselves and really find a ground, a place amidst the groundswell of changes that are going on. And finding, staying centered, you know, like it's easy to get unbalanced for different things that we feel strongly for, you know, whether it's politics or personal stuff or, you know, whatever it might be. So yeah, this is a reminder of the challenge of that, finding balance amidst these sweeping changes, and this fountain of, you know, things transforming and reorganizing, going up and coming down. So let's see here. All right. Are there any more challenges? Yes, but I feel like this bridges to the next one. So let's see. What kind of guidance do we have additionally for this month? I'm just going to draw it randomly and see what it indicates for. Here we are. The Eight of Wands. Fascinating. So we have here, this is the Initiatory Tarot of the Golden Dawn, which is a mystical initiation society. We see here a woman who is quickly ascending over these different scaffoldings, of which many hands are holding it. There's also fires illuminated beneath the scaffolding, and we see these hands that are holding and suspending the scaffold. And you can see this woman is, you know, really kind of like, looks like she's in pursuit. Looks like she's in pursuit of something, you know, she has a mission, you know, and the situation is dangerous. You know, she is pushing herself forward, you know, to accomplish something, to perhaps to intervene, you know. So this is giving me senses of, you know, staying focused and relying on each other for our structure and stability, you know, like where no person is an island, you know, unto themselves. You know, it's supported by the ocean. It just peaks out here. We're all, you know, children of the infinite oneness, and you know, every person is just kind of like that island. It's that, you know, individual that is just here in a body as a soul, you know, carrying information to and from source, having a great experience, having the experience, whatever it is, you know, it could be anything. So but to focus on this, the swiftness, this action. It's a time to kind of like really start moving towards our goals, but also understanding that we're supporting each other in this. If the foundation is, there we go, continued and continued again. Learning process, OBS. So where was I? Yeah. Interesting. In some senses, this almost kind of communicates, given the duress of this individual and how kind of like the fiery fury of this is looking. I'm kind of seeing that these hands could also represent people coming down from what looks like this kind of like volcanic fire, but yeah, really kind of ascending. Yeah. All right. What is the hidden gift in this time for the month of February? Oh. Nine of chalices, nine of cups. So we went from the 1 to the 8. Yeah, hidden gift here is it's communicating something about like the completion, of we see here like this abundance, the fruits of our labor. There's this great abundance. This man is kind of like raising his arms in gratitude and glory, by this valley where everything is kind of gathered and concentrated with the waters, and in these cups, which have pyramids at the bases, which is interesting, Nubian golden ratio. These cups are filled with fruits. So to me, that kind of expresses and communicates like the fruits of our labor, right? Things that we've earned through our relationships, through our ability to feel, and emotionally give and receive. So the hidden gift in this month is suggesting something about how, perhaps it's going to be a time where we're going to be seeing this or realizing and receiving, some of this abundance, from whatever past cycle this kind of like relates through. Or it might be suggesting as well, going forward, that this is something that we can intentionally cultivate, right? Or at least begin to recognize going forward for this month, which I know I'm recording this on the 3rd. All right. A little more clarity here. Upside down. So this is the 2 of Pentacles. Yeah. So to me, this is resonating. It was in reverse. So we have this image here of this little girl who is kind of almost like being lured by this hand holding a serpent, which is an infinity symbol between the sun and the moon, right? Light and dark, good and evil, the transformation, the Ouroboros, right? The circle and circuit of life, good and evil, just 2 poles on an axis. And it looks like she's seeking this, so this is, to me, this is communicating about how, when taking initiative, in relation to like our worldly success, our position, our stability in life, more material things, to be careful when in our first steps, and really understanding how we set things in motion with each individual choice, and what we set our sights on, will really play out, and that kind of relates to this. Here we are in abundance, like, wow, look at, there's this plenty, there's gratitude, but truly the fruits of these labors, like a lot of things have to go right. There's, a balance in this where some of it just follows naturally, but it requires care. It requires care, diligence, patience, and hard work, and relationships and trust, right? You steal all this, that's like you're spoiling yourself, because you didn't earn it. So yeah, this is kind of suggesting to, be mindful of what we're going towards, but understanding that we're in a greater cycle too. It's interesting. We go through phases like this where we're starting things, all the time. It's interesting. Little flowers, so things we love, things that are pleasant, but there's this forest, this kind of dark, ominous forest as well, Children don't know what they do. Alrighty. Feel like we're almost done here. Let's see what else we got. I'm still learning, new to this, but I really enjoy it. It's fun to see it, how it works. What's something about the energy? Where's this going? Where's this month going? So I'm feeling through the cards. I'm kind of like energetically scanning to see one that calls to me. Yeah. Ah, Two of Cups. Interesting. Went from it was in reverse too. So here we have, in this artistic depiction, we have again the gold and the silver cup, kind of like how we began here. These vessels in temperance. To now there's these flowers, these things are grounding. They're entering into the relational field. So in some senses, I'm seeing that this is a pretty important month about the activity that's going forward is really going to kind of like set things. That sounds so cliche and general and stereotypical, but it's true. It's like time keeps on slipping into the future. So, Two of Cups. Let me do a quick reading there. And I forgot I have this blind spot cards. Two of Cups. Cup suit. There it is. Interesting. Yeah, so the tonality in this image is different than the Rider deck. The Rider deck is much more neutral. Yeah, so the Two of Cups, love and partnerships old and new, but in reversed, when they're reversed, the two reveals relationship stress. And again, what comes to mind for me, just relationally, again, context of, changes in the United States here and what's happening, there's definitely strife and stress in relationships, international relationships, trade, socio-political, as above, so below, whether that's disclosure, secrecy, different institutions, different organizations, all these different kind of interests, there's stress, there's things, a change in afoot here. So, alrighty. And then for the blind spot, this kind of, these were developed by Teal Swan. She felt like tarot didn't do a very good job. She oftentimes wanted more insight into the blind spots. So let's see what we get here. For the month of February, for a collective reading. Earlier had the 5 popped out. This time it is the 56. Let's see. This image here says these are sigils. These are kind of holomorphic, interdimensional sigils that Teal has created. Interesting. I had this one last time. So the comfort zone. So this card, I remember it. I'll do some reading from it. But essentially, with the blind spot card that was drawn is communicating, we can't grow in our comfort zone. We have to be willing, especially when we feel it. We know it. If we're being honest with ourselves and actually tuned in with our conscious about what feels right for us. Where is that coming from? Our inner authority, not from the outside, but from the inside out, true to ourselves. Where are you in your comfort zone? What domain is there in your life, if present, for you to get out of your comfort zone and to be able to learn to be comfortable being uncomfortable? The more we expose ourselves and actually put ourselves into unknowns, whether it relates to trauma, whether it relates to new opportunities, things that we're learning, things that we're going forward to that we don't have much experience with, or that we feel some kind of resistance with, there is so much ripeness for growth. And oftentimes, sometimes in a strange, seemingly paradoxical, metaphysical way, what we truly desire is behind our fears. Obviously, context is very important in that. It's one thing to say, like, oh, yeah, I'm afraid of, crossing into a demilitarized zone in North Korea and South Korea. And I'm like, I'm afraid of that. Well, everything I'm seeking is behind that all. You're probably going to get shot, or put in prison. That's not what you're seeking unless you're looking for severity, which, hey, maybe that's what you need. But you get my point. My point is that, going through that growth, getting out of our comfort zone. I mean, think about this in like in a biological sense too. With like a tree. How if the root can go through a dry section and it senses however it's sensing to intelligently find the water, to tap in, to be able to grow and expand and spread those roots to which it can nourish, in the ecology of of its family, of different organisms that are in symbiosis. It's important for the life waters of our life to flow and for us to give and receive in that. Otherwise things get stagnant and then disease comes and then, it's just, like a scummy pond. You don't want to be a scummy pond. But I mean, hey, if you are, whatever. It's your life. So, yeah. So the key thing here, though, that I love that Teal says, it's when we are facing the unknown, the mind goes to work on projecting its already acquired fears into the unknown to try to predict what lies there, and then goes to work trying to figure out how to avoid those fears. It is those projections that we fear, not the lack of comfort itself, for example. So, yeah, interesting. All right. Beautiful. The High Priestess. It's the final. So, follow your intuition. Work magic, intention craft. It's powerful, whether it's in word, action, speech, sometimes dissolving, stepping back, getting clear of our ego, getting clear of the forwardness of the mind, and opening into that expansiveness, it's like the water of space, the flow of space, the emptiness. Great abundance can flow through, and we can tap back in with the cosmos. All right, many blessings. I seek to be doing this once a month, so if you want to hop on with me for the adventure, like and subscribe. Once again, my name is Steven. I go as Soulfire Tarot. I'm going to be working on getting my studio up and continue learning. So, all right. Be well, my friends.